Ladies and gentlemen, I have some news to share with all of you about Honkai Star Rail. And it's not necessarily about anything new or crazy or ridiculous that's happening with the game. It's not really even things about like the MOC or the power creep in the characters or the terrible design of the story. What this discussion is going to be focused on today is the fact that people are no longer able to discuss that. Primarily on one of the biggest public forums for the game that exists, the Honkai Star Rail official subreddit. And let's just say, ladies and gentlemen, the mod team here appears to be absolutely bought the fuck out. These individuals, right, are going ahead, they're trying to control the narrative, they're trying to limit discussion, they're trying to do as much damage control as possible for the game, despite the fact that it is in the worst state it's ever been. But don't just take my word for it. But I'm just going to go ahead and go to Twitch tracker and then go to Honkai Star Rail real fast. And then we can just go ahead and see what it's actually looking like. Let's just look at some of the month-by-month statistics for the game. You can see that there was a big peak in September, really doing good and doing pretty good in May, March, April. And this was 3.0. And this is right after version 3.0. The game is not in a good spot. People don't really want to watch it that much. It's just the release of, like, you know, the newest region. You would expect that there would be a lot more traction for this game, right? Especially after seeing how large some of the peaks were really early on in its life cycle. But at this point, it is not doing very, very good at all. And that's just by one metric, right? What if we went ahead and we looked at something like, you know, Google Trends? Let's go worldwide, and let's go for the past 90 days. Wow. Wow. What a massive amount of growth for the game since December and Penacony. Oh, wait, it's actually lower than it was. It's actually at the lowest point it's probably ever been in the history of the game. Let's expand it out even further. Let's look at the past 12 months. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's not good. That's not very good at all. This game is on the downtrend. It is very fair to say that this game is on the downtrend. There have been so many facets of the game that have become completely unplayable. The inability to use any of your older characters and content. The fact that the MOC is so absurdly difficult and absurdly tuned on the HP side and the damage side that players that used to be able to clear are no longer able to clear, and you're heavily incentivized to pull the character. They've added so many more pay-to-win mechanics as well. The game is just in a really, really rough and terrible spot. And these mods, in their infinite wisdom, have decided, instead of allowing discussion on how to fix the game, instead of allowing discussion on how to make the game better, improve it as a whole, they're going ahead and they're just going to limit discussion. They just don't want too much negative press, too much negative PR. They probably have somebody on the Hoyo community manager side that's trying to dissuade them, right, from letting these posts happen. And you can tell it's something that Hoyo always does. Don't talk negatively about our game. If you are sponsored by us, if you have a creator program thing with us, if you talk badly about the game or you critique the game at all, we're going to take you out of the program. And that's probably what's being threatened for this subreddit over here. They're probably being told that if they go ahead and allow these posts and they don't censor everything, they're going to be delabeled or like demonetized, right, as the Honkai Star Rail official subreddit. They're probably going to lose that title, and then Hoyoverse is going to take their business and they go elsewhere. That's kind of how they do things. So with that, let's go ahead, let's zoom in, and let's dive into this. Let's dive into this whole ridiculous, absurd situation and break it down line by line. Hello all, Mod Team here. We hear you on your recent complaints on the subreddit. We have been seeing a lot of arguing and heated discussion on recent complaints the community has had about Honkai Star Rail right now. And we as a team may have let it go on too long. What do you mean let it go on too long? Is this something that you're supposed to stop when people hate the fucking game, when people used to love it and now feel a level of disgust playing it because it's become unplayable? That is a valid concern. That's a valid complaint. That is something that you should be allowing so that the devs know they need to fix shit. And this is the most important thing, right? That I don't think a lot of people recognize. Fix it fast. You knew 3.0 sucked ass. And the fact that they're going to take 60 plus days from recognizing when it sucks ass to actually fix it is insane. Why not just fix it now? You're removing shit from the game. You're not even adding things, right? Or making things better. You're just taking them out of the game. Why is it so slow? Next, these recent complaints include things like MOC or other endgame modes discussion, HP inflation, complaints on lack of animations in the story, the need for new characters and their E1s due to power creep, and all that. So basically, they're just straight up saying, we don't want people to complain about these things. We want people to stop discussions on these areas. They're having too many arguments, too many heated talks. But that's what's wrong with the game. That is literally, you have summed up here the biggest problems with the game. All of the major core issues and the reasons for why people are quitting. And you're going ahead and you're just trying to sweep all of it under the rug and just say, oh, you can't talk about that. You cannot talk about any of this, right? You're quitting the game because of it? We don't care. Just leave. You want it to be fixed so the game can be better? We don't care. Just leave. This is the actual embodiment of toxic positivity over here. When you're going to go ahead and start censoring discussions, not even allowing it in the first place, and then just pretending it all doesn't exist when it is the biggest issue that is actively, currently, and demonstrably killing the game. But hey, don't talk about it. Pretend it doesn't exist. The moderation team has been working on in the background a way to mitigate these discussions and complaints so they do not derail the subreddit from other content if possible the last week, and we are now rolling it out. I'm not gonna lie, whoever fucking wrote this needs to take a writing class. This sentence structure is absolutely absurd. Just read this entire post out loud if you have some free time, and you'll just be like, what am I actually saying out loud? Sorry, I just wanted to get that off my chest because I'm just like, this is a terrible way of writing. Anyways, so they're working on a way to fix this by just not letting things happen. Terrible grammar. We apologize it took later than expected, but here is what we are doing. So let's hear about how these guys are about to censor stuff. I'm ready. We are adding a system to our existing rule set that includes sanctioning certain pieces of content. Ooh, sanctioning. This system will be used during times in which highly popular point of discussion becomes too much for both the mod team to handle, as well as it is flooding the subreddit with too much of it. Becomes too much for both the mod team to I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I actually know English, and I know how to write and read. This is fucking awful. This is so terrible. It's ridiculous. It ultimately spawns posts, memes, and gaslighting comments that do not contribute to the discussion and just keep cycling the same content that otherwise has already been posted. Yes, how about this? People will just complain. They'll keep complaining, and they're completely justified in complaining until these massive fucking issues that are making the game unplayable for them get fixed. That's kind of like how it works. And the idea is, right, how about you stop giving these devs infinite space and infinite fucking patience to make these changes at their own pace, and you allow public outcry to reach the levels that it should, so that the devs can see, oh my gosh, our game is on fucking fire. Maybe we should get off of our paycheck stealing asses and actually fix the game, instead of promising that we're gonna fix the game 2 months from when it should be fixed. Maybe that should be something that actually occurs so that there's reasonable, actionable things that happen. Instead of just, yeah, we're just gonna remove some stuff. Oh yeah, we're also gonna fuck you over with the most ridiculous MOC the game has ever seen after saying we were just about to fix stuff. What's the point? People are pissed, or people were having a great time, right? When that developer radio came out and they were like, oh yeah, we recognize that the story pacing is kind of turning people off from the stories, so we're going to make it a little bit more succinct. We're going to allow you to skip some stuff. We're going to remove some of the puzzles. Oh yeah, and we're also going to reverse some of the power creep, right? We're going to have some great buffs. Some great buffs for all of the existing 1.0 units that you guys think are underperforming. The subreddit was in a great spot. A great spot back then. And so suddenly now that has sort of worn off and the devs have just fucked us again with this MOC, you want to limit discussion. It's been like 2 or 3 days since the MOC dropped. Everybody fucking hates it. Everyone thinks it's dog shit. And we're just going ahead and we're saying you can't talk about it anymore. They're just mundane. They do so little to add to the ongoing discussion. They provide little effort is put into the posts, or they're just made to gaslight other users. What gaslighting? Why are we using the term gaslighting twice? I don't think the writer even understands what the word gaslighting means, because they don't understand the English language as a fucking whole, just based off of what the fuck they're even putting on the post. The sentences don't even make sense. How would they know what gaslighting means? Such sanctioned content at times will only be a temporary measure, and is not meant to be permanent ban on discussing such content. Only at times when the mod team feels it is necessary to start filtering out low effort, oh, they're using gaslighting again, and other pieces of content that do not contribute to something new to an ongoing and highly discussed topic. So, in short, what this basically means is the mods are just going to use their discretion to decide whether or not they want to turn on Sanctioned mode and become like the Zhanzhou Lofu robot, right? That like becomes like weakness blocked and like fucking start like CCing you, right? They're gonna activate Sanctioned mode and just start removing posts for fun. No real actual qualification for when. It's just when the mod team feels it is necessary. This is kind of just open admission of we're gonna delete posts whenever the fuck we feel like it. And the reasons are gonna be, well, they're low effort, which is subjective. They're gaslighting, which they don't know the definition of, and other pieces of content that do not contribute something new, which is again, subjective. It's like, oh, have you seen everything? It's like, it's just such a wide net to cast, and the reason for it is so arbitrary that nobody can take this shit seriously. I'm excited to see what the comments look like. Once a certain highly discussed point of discussion. Bruh. Get a new writer. A discussed point of discussion. What the fuck is wrong with you? Just get ChatGPT at this point. It's been so painful reading this because it's worse than AI. Just ask ChatGPT to write this at this point. Has died down. We will allow full discuss point discussion, full discussion. Okay. Of it again in their own posts. We will instead be directing users we feel fall under sanctioned content to instead post it to the Party Car Lounge mega thread. What? Who's it? What even is this? 2 votes, 21 comments, 13 comments, 7 votes, 109 comments. What? Are they just... They're basically telling you, just post it where nobody is going to see it. We don't want to see it. We're going to censor it. Just post it where you know that nobody is going to see it. And it's pretty clear, right? These are getting deleted as well. Why are there only 3 of them? Why are there only 3 of them? Somebody is telling me they delete these every single month. Oh my gosh. This is absurd. Which is a mega thread that has been underutilized for a while, probably because you keep deleting them so nobody knows they're fucking there. For those, if you are unaware, the Party Lounge Car mega thread is meant as a catch-all mega thread for content that should not justify its own post, which the mods arbitrarily decide. Whether it be showing off achievements you make, blah, blah, blah. Okay, nobody's gonna fucking use this. This is just like basically saying, it's a relevant point of discussion. We are being told to censor it by Hoyoverse, and so we're forcing you to put it into a thread that nobody is going to look at, which is essentially, yeah, just throwing it into like the dark void that nobody gives a fuck about. Who cares about your complaints? That's what the mods are saying here. Lastly, and I want to make it clear this system is not meant to censor feedback. Really? Really? The mod team being able to arbitrarily decide what is or isn't worth posting based off of the most whimsical, fucking loose, floaty-ass criteria we've ever seen. That's just not censorship. Giving them the decision-making power to do whatever the fuck they want based off whatever the fuck they feel like, that's just not censorship. When that's literally all that's been described this entire post. This is why I said they need somebody that actually knows English to read this shit, because this has to be one of the most hilarious fucking posts probably the entire community has ever seen. It's actually comedic at this point. It's actually fucking comedic. The last thing we ever want to do as a mod team is censor the... And why does it get worse with every single line? It literally just gets worse every single line. That is not our job. That is all that you described as your job up here. This is valuable feedback for Hoyoverse to hear, and many of us in the mod team feel the same as you. Do you? Then why are you deleting the post? This system is only meant to direct the feedback, not remove it entirely. So, this thread is deleted every month, and you're telling people to post all of their feedback in this thread that gets deleted. What? That is the definition of removing it entirely. Nor ever ban any specific topic of discussion. I guess you're not banning it. You're just directing it to the part of the community that nobody ever goes. And so, yes, I guess you're skirting around, like just raw definition over here, but functionally, you are doing exactly what you're saying you're not doing. Functionally, it is exactly, and technically, it is exactly the same. We are only going to be removing and redirecting content under sanctioned content that we feel is too low effort, gaslights, or mundane in it. We feel. So again, it's just the mods doing whatever the fuck they feel like. That is literally it. There's no criteria. The criteria is low effort, gaslights, or mundane. That's just literally all subjective. And again, they don't know what the word gaslighting even means. They don't know what gaslighting even means. You can review the ongoing updated list of sanctioned content here. Oh boy. Oh boy. For now, we will also list content that will be considered sanctioned at this present moment in time. Memory of Chaos, Pure Fiction, Apocalyptic Shadow Difficulty. Hey, yep. If you think the mode is too hard, go fuck yourself. Lack of animations in the story. You don't think the story is easy to follow, or you think the story is boring? Go fuck yourself. Enemy HP inflation. You think the enemies have too much HP? You know it. Go fuck yourself. Power creep. Oh. You don't like that your blade is clearing in 15 cycles when he used to take 3? Go fuck yourself. Necessity of new 5-star characters and or their E1. Oh, you don't like the fact that Aglaia with her E1 is like 2 times or 3 times the character? And you wish she was more functional at E0? Well, you can go fuck yourself. Thank you for reading, and again, we invite any and all feedback on this system, how we are doing things as a team, and what we can do to make this community the best place it can be to discuss things while keeping it civil and clean. Also, go fuck yourself. Just add go fuck yourself after every single line in this last section, and it just makes so much more sense. Because that is what these mods are just telling you to do. If you have a problem with the game, if you want to discuss why the game is in a bad state, you know what to do, right? They're just limiting the discussion. They're saying there's too much of it. They're saying it's low effort. Oh, it's gaslighting. Oh, it's mundane. Just completely arbitrary terms they're throwing out there for fun and absolutely no reason at all. They're just looking for excuses to eliminate critique from the game. They're telling us that, oh, we're actually on your side. We're trying to direct feedback. And they're telling you to post all of your fucking feedback into a thread that gets deleted every month. What is the actual purpose here? It's absurd. So, you already know how I feel. You probably already have a feel for what's going on. Let's go ahead and see what the community thinks. Holy shit, sanction rate climbed to 66%. We're so cooked. Yep, we talked about the mob. I hope the system will also see use for less controversial but other overwhelming stuff, like the lottery event. Hoyoverse only ever changes anything when there's enough community feedback or pushback. Yes, they seem to prioritize a more core region, but I absolutely believe the English-speaking community's feedback has affected their decision-making before. Yep, that's kind of how it is. If you have enough people telling you that the room is on fire, maybe somebody's going to go get the extinguisher, right? But if you keep going ahead, you deliver a fucking RKO or a tombstone pile driver to everyone who points out that the room is on fire, and you keep telling the firefighters everything is fine, what do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Probably the entire building is going to burn down because you're being so fucking dumb. And that is what is at risk for Honkai Star Rail. You're telling everybody who has legitimate, real complaints about the game to just shut the fuck up and move on and go post all of their complaints into this bum-ass thread that nobody looks at. And you're actively promoting the game getting worse. And I'm pretty sure that the mods are cleaning up and deleting a fuck ton of comments that are people's actual legitimate thoughts. I wish I could have seen this post a little bit early on. It's only 5 hours old. I'm pretty sure there has to be at least a couple hundred deleted comments by this absolutely incapable bum-ass mod team. Because if they're going to censor discussion because it's a critique to the game, imagine what they're going to censor when it comes to critiques on them. They're defending a game this hard. How much do you think they're going to defend their own reasoning? And so with that, this is clearly a massive issue. If I was a Honkai Star Rail player, I would be the most concerned I've ever been because the game is in the fucking dumps. The game is actively getting worse every single patch, and every single time you try to talk, speak out, and try to make the game better, you're being censored by these absolute freak mods over here who are trying to basically stun lock, CC you. They're trying to fucking imprison you, use the fucking imagination break effect with this massive wall of text that is almost absolutely unreadable and incomprehensible. That's what they're trying to do. And it's absolutely fucking absurd. And they need new mods. They need a new mod team, a new way to manage this subreddit, because it is absolutely 1000% entirely cooked. And I'm pretty sure the player base that actually frequents this subreddit does not like this bullshit at all. They're paid off. 1,000,000%. So with that, let me know what you all think. I think this is complete ass. I think this is terrible. I think this is going to do only... I think that this is going to lead to the game only actively becoming worse and worse. And I hope they change it. Peace out.